Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So I just want to cover the Graywater black market really quickly before I move on to the Zodiac Trials. So these are the things that I made the purchase for, and I know I said not to make any purchases until the Echo Tribute comes around. But the thing is, I am holding on to some crystals which I can afford. Okay, I can afford this. But for the most of you guys who are not able to afford this, then what should you do? So here is my opinion. Okay, so I have my top 4 rankings over here. The first is going to be the Supersound Matrices. This is a definite must buy. One Supersound Matrix summon for 300 Nexus Crystals is a steal. It's a huge steal in my opinion. And since there's like 5 of it, right? So 1500 Nexus Crystals for 5 summons of the Supersound Matrices is a big deal. And then secondly, I think this is more true for most of you guys as well because you do not have as many fodder material. Then the Epic Starmon for 200 Nexus Crystals, I think is actually quite well worth it because most of the time this 200 Nexus Crystals, well 90% of the time it's going to get you a 3-star rare Esper. But if you had the option to buy a 4-star fodder Esper, I think it's going to be pretty good, especially if you're still chasing those 6-star Espers. I currently have about 70 to 80 6-star Espers, which means that this is actually not so useful for me anymore, but I'm still going to hodl it for the opportunity that I get a new Esper next time and I desperately need the extra fodder. Now next we have the Shimmer Record. I think this is okay. For the price of 1000 Nexus Crystals for Shimmer Record that has a PT right now, I think this is fine. Because if I'm gonna think about it, 100,000 Nexus Crystals for a legendary Shimmer Esper, would I make that purchase? I think it's something that I would consider saving, especially since I'll be getting 99 other Espers along the way. Well, 99 other Shimmer Espers, right? But I think this is starting to reach the point of like wailing and being iffy. So if you're a free-to-play player, I think the SSMs and Epic Starmon are a good place to stop. And as for the Reset Stone, this 400 Nexus Crystals, I do know some people who think that this is extremely good value. I do think that it is also quite valuable, but do understand that 400 Nexus Crystals would then translate into 360 extra stamina that you could have used into your K15, A15, F15 runs to just farm more flawless relics along the way that way, right? So these are my opinions. I do feel like these two, probably a must buy. Apart from that, not exactly that necessary for the Shimmer Record and the Reset Stone. And obviously these two over here, do not buy it, alright? Please do not do something like this. This is a huge waste of your Nexus Crystals. Anyway, let's move on to the Zodiac Trials. Okay, super exciting stuff. So I wonder how we will fare, right? So this round's buff, when allies gain a buff, 30% chance of extending its duration by 1 turn. Oh my god, that is so big. So this is my current squad, and someone also brought up a really good point in the previous video, which is most endgame players do not even need to steal Espers from other players. So yeah, it's actually not such an important detail. I think it's maybe more important for players who do not have a good spread of Espers, but for me, I think this team is going to serve its purpose all the way. I don't think I'm going to get cucked that much. So if you're wondering how this works, the fact that I'm using Ashley here means that any crit that I land will reduce their AP, which is sick. So even like my tier as well, everything on my team is built with crit rate. So that's why I'm dealing so much damage, and yeah, just like that, the first round is done. So this is like, what the hell? Now I have a huge problem with this because I can see their relics, right? So that means that someone can actually see my relics as well, which means that they can see my Dahlia, they can see the rest of my DPS Esper stats. So that's gonna be a problem. But anyway, let's just move on. Okay, so what is their debuff right now? When an enemy attacks, they have a chance of stealing 1 buff. Oh my god, you're not even gonna move. So here we go, we're just gonna auto through most of this, I think. Maybe the earlier rounds would be a little bit easier. I'm actually not very sure how they determine who I'm gonna face, because I thought that it's somehow linked to my tier in Point War, but apparently not. Because the first guy that I fought, that was definitely not tier 16 at all. It's probably not even tier 5. The guy probably doesn't even care about PvP, so I'm gonna go with Ollie because I do not have Ollie. And let's see. Moving on, at the start of an enemy's turn, one of their debuffs is Dispelled. Okay, that's not gonna be a problem at all, right? Because he's not gonna move. So I think between these two, I might just go with the second one because I might want to get height, especially if I start to get outsped at the later floors of this content. Because there are still a bunch of players who are more than able to outspeed me, especially those with Unas as well. They have the additional, how many speed advantage? I think it was like 5 speed or something like that. So I might need a strong height, and I'm not sure whether this height is strong or not, but it's probably better than my current height. My current height is quite trash. So hopefully we get it right, because this is completely RNG based. So I might not even be able to pick the height. Let's see what we get. We do not even get a height, oh my goodness, and I am definitely not going to be using any of these 2 Espers. So I think my main objective right now is to not take the easy way out to just like fight easier targets. My main objective right now is to face off whoever I think I desperately need some Esper from. But like I said before, most endgame players, they are not going to be too bothered about picking Espers, right? But I guess this might be useful information for some of you guys out there. Man, I wish I could actually pick the Esper that I wanted, right? Just let me pick. Why do you only give me 2 options, right? And wow, this guy has level 50s on his team. I am so confused. I'm so confused right now, like what's actually happening. And I don't even need to read the debuff because this is just gonna end so quickly. So there is a huge power imbalance in this game, I feel, right? So when I tested this content for the first time as a brand new fresh player, it was so difficult because it is so RNG reliant and most of the enemies that I face are way too powerful for me. But right now, this is like a complete joke. I expected to meet players who are around tier 16 or at least see some tier 16 defenses, but that's not the case at all, isn't it? I mean, from an endgame perspective, I have nothing to complain about because if this content is easy for me, then it is easy for me to just blow through and just forget about it. But if it's like for the mid-range players, I guess you guys are going to have more fun because it's going to be a little bit more interesting, more challenging for some of you guys. But for early game players, yeah, this is not going to be fun at all. Oh nice, I finally got a hide, and hopefully this hide is a little bit stronger than mine because he has like 2 reso as well. And maybe I might have a chance of getting Lucas. Not that I need him, right? I think Tricky is probably better than Lucas. But I guess, you know, new Espers, that's fine. Oh my god, we got silence at the start. Oh, okay, this is huge. If we get silence at the start, we are kind of screwed. Ah, okay. Wow, this is... Okay, so yeah, some of the debuffs might actually stop me from cleaving. That's cool, that's interesting. But I think we are doing alright. Yeah, we should be fine, that's it. So there are definitely some more challenging flaws, especially something like this. But that's where Espers like Jinyu Yao and Catherine might be a little bit better as well. Oh, we can use a Tabber if we so choose to. When the enemy attacks, they have a chance of inflicting taunt. Oh my goodness, that's gonna amount to nothing, isn't it? You know, I don't actually recognize any of these names at all. I'm not even sure whether are these global players or are they beta players. I don't even know who they are. I've never even seen them before. Which is kind of weird because I recognize most beta players, even players who don't even chat in the global chat as well. And I guess that's it. We are finally at the 12th floor. It was like 5 minutes of my time. Enemy single target abilities deal 25% splash damage to allies other than the target. Enemy AoE abilities deal 50% damage. Okay, so I think they kind of fixed the debuffs, right? Because I do recognize this on the 12th difficulty in the testing server, but I cannot be too sure because that was just the first day. And maybe this is also the first day, therefore it had the same debuff. But I do feel like there is a possibility that every single day the debuffs will be fixed, which means that the most problematic one for me is probably going to be the one with Star of Sincerity, which is all my allies are silenced for 1 turn. But apart from that, I don't think this content is in any way, shape or form that unique. Well, not for players like me, I guess. So there you go, that is 12 Starlight tokens, and I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to click anything, trial passed. Tap to continue, and now we get our 100 Nexus Crystals and 200k. So we just need to do this for another 5 more days, I think. Wait, is it 5 days? Or is it 6 days? About 6 days. And then we should be able to get 100 Supercell Matrices. So this is kind of like fodder content for me for the time being. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play. And as always, I will see you in the next video.